This is a special bonus episode of The Art of Resistance, focusing on modern artists creating writing, music, and more to resist the status quo.
My anger at the Sackler family, it's personal. When you think of the profit of people's pain, you can only be furious.
Nan Goldin is an artist, photographer, and activist. She's known for deeply honest personal photography and stunning portraits of drag queens, chosen families, and her friends who died from AIDS. And in 2017, at age 62, she was prescribed OxyContin after an injury. And she became addicted. Here's Nan in an interview in 2023.
Opioids make you give and take away your pain. It's the withdrawal from opioids that's almost impossible to go through. It's the stripping of your skin and the darkness of your soul.
She wasn't alone. If you've seen the Hulu series Dopesick or read the book, you know the story. Starting in 1996, Purdue Pharma introduced a new drug that was promised to end pain. It was a drug derived from opioids, as in the same substance in heroin. But Purdue Pharma told doctors that less than 1% of users became addicted to the drug OxyContin. It was all lies. Purdue Pharma, led by the billionaire Sackler family, made up studies, paid off big-name doctors for testimonials, sent aggressive sales reps to woo rural doctors, and created an international story about a solution for pain. But the Sacklers and Purdue Pharma knew the drug, just like all opioids, was actually extremely addictive. People in pain across the country took this medicine and got their brains rewired by the opioids. Then they had to take more and more just to fend off the debilitating withdrawal. They went to their doctors, other doctors, pill mills, or dealers, desperate to stay well. And when they couldn't get oxy, heroin was a cheaper and quicker way to survive. Since then, hundreds of thousands of people have died from opioid overdoses. And addiction? Probably impossible to measure. It's all horrific. And Nan Goldin was part of it, experiencing addiction and seeing communities ravaged and friends killed. She knew that Purdue Pharma, instead of ending pain, was peddling significantly more pain. But it was only in 2017, when an article by Patrick Radden Keefe came out, that Nan and the world found out the truth about the Sacklers, the fact that they knew what was happening and didn't care. Nan was an artist, and she looked around the museums of New York and elsewhere and saw the Sackler name everywhere. She saw how this family had spent millions, billions, plastering their name on the Met, the Guggenheim, the Louvre. They were art washing, giving the image of philanthropic good guys and hiding their crimes. Nan remembered ACT UP, powered by the artist collective Grand Fury. She remembered how it fought against a plague, but also government inaction and the blaming of victims. She remembered their tactic of the die-in, where groups of activists would disrupt business and create media moments by simulating death. And she created Prescription Addiction Intervention Now, or PAIN.
I decided I wanted to bring them down. I wanted to shame them in front of their peers.
On February 9th, 2019, Nan and her group of artists, activists, and survivors milled around in the crowd at the Guggenheim. Suddenly, massive banners unfurled in the upper-level stairs, saying 400,000 dead and shame on Sackler. Members of PAIN laid down on the ground in a die-in. and prescription forms rained down into the atrium, fake signed by Richard Sackler, CEO of Purdue Pharma.
Our most beautiful action was at the Guggenheim, where we used the rotunda to throw down prescriptions that had quotes from the Sacklers' inter-office memos that were released. Things like, the users are the culprits, we have to hammer them in every way. We need to bury the competition with a big snow of OxyContin prescriptions. And the doctors need to say that it makes people more social.
This protest and others were widely broadcast, so they made the media a powerful tool to educate others.
People die, Sacklers lie, people die, Sacklers lie, people die, Sacklers lie, people die. Shame on
P.A.I.N wasn't done. They did similar demonstrations with more fake prescriptions and pill bottles at the Louvre in Paris, the Met Museum in New York, the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, and Harvard Art Museum. Nan and her group also got 77 major-name artists to sign a letter directly to museums, presenting their case for removing the Sackler name and calling an end to accepting Sackler money. The Sackler name has been removed from nearly all of these places, and they've pledged to no longer accept Sackler funds. There's still more to go. Nan Goldin saw a massive, sprawling problem. She saw an ultra-powerful and wealthy family doing wrong with no repercussions. And she found a way to use her art, her experiences, her community, and creativity to fight back. And it's working.
Every single person has to find a way to fight back against the injustice and darkness of these times. And I chose what I know best in my body, which is drug addiction. So I didn't go after the drugs. That's very important. We went after the pharmaceutical companies that were making money off the bodies of millions of people.
And it's true, the opioid epidemic continues. The Sacklers continue, unfazed by numerous trials and verdicts. But they can't art wash anymore. Their lies have been exposed. And more than anything, opioid survivors have a way to turn their rage and pain into art and action. That's life-saving. That's the power of art as resistance.
I'm a survivor, and I've survived the AIDS crisis, the overdose crisis, all the kind of prejudices and stigmas that have been attached to me and my work. And I've survived. And I've hoped that I've kept other people alive.
The Art of Resistance is a podcast from Rebel Yell Creative. To make art that matters, every creative person needs support. Find yours at rebelyellcreative.com. This is Amy Lee Lillard, and I wrote, narrated, and produced this show. Check the show notes for all sources, and head to rebelyellcreative.com for full show transcripts, art, and more. I'll see you next time.